Good afternoon, everybody. We're here back at the trailer. It's been a couple of days since I posted last. I know I said that I would make a video of doing all the plumbing, but we felt that it was much easier just to do the plumbing because it was such a small little area to be able to work in. I don't think I would have been able to film properly. In a couple of minutes I'm going to be showing you what we've done with the plumbing, with the freshwater tank and the grey water tank, and I will explain as I'm going along. In the meantime, let me just give you an idea of where we're holding. So here we go. This is the trailer. There's a lot of stuff outside. These are all the tools and equipment that we had set up to be able to work. Let's go on in. As you can see, this is what it looks like now during the daylight. Opening up the door. And the little hasp that was right here that was holding the door open broke off. I'm going to have to come up with a better idea. I may just do some sort of a very powerful magnet that will hold the door open, but that we're going to have to see. Okay, so first of all, we are now in. All the sinks are installed. This area here will not have a door. I'm going to put a curtain with a curtain railing across so that way we can keep that area closed off. Let me just first show all appliances and then we can go on from there. This here is a cup washer. It's designed to be able to put your the cup that I use for foaming my milk. I'm going to put it on here. You push down and water shoots straight up and cleans the cup out. This is what they call a knockbox. The knockbox is taken out to be able to be cleaned easily. In fact, the drawers, if you have a look here, I actually cut the drawer out so that way it would fit with all of the plumbing underneath. That way I can open and close the drawer still. It doesn't take away too much, but it does allow me to open and close the drawer. Then underneath here, let's go into hot water heater. It is taped up, it is vented out with what they call a B vent. The 90-degree elbow there is a double wall vent so that it makes it safer to use without anything burning. I have my drain lines here. It does look like there's a slight dip, but it's fine because everything still keeps going. There's just a little bit more of an angle here than there is over here. Everything is connected up. Oh, by the way, that little box right here, the little washer, is connected directly into the drain on the side. I put it into the end of this T. That comes across. Now, the way I have the drain set up, it's just a floating drain, and it'll go right into this 3-inch by 1.5-inch adapter, so that way if the drain tank ever does get too full, it will not go back up into the sinks. It'll just spill onto the floor. Of course, we want to avoid that also, but at least that way it'll save it from ever getting from creating cross-contamination of water going back up into the sinks. Water filter to be able to keep our water pure. The water filter is only connected up to my coffee machines. I'm not connecting it to anything else. As you can see, there's red lines and there are blue lines. So the blue lines are, of course, the incoming water and the cold water. The red line is the hot water that's going from the hot water heater up to the 2 sinks. Then let's open up here and I can show you inside the cabinetry what we have. Let's start off on the side right here. This here is my freshwater tank. I think it's a 15 or 16 gallon, I don't remember the size of it. 16 gallon. It's a 16 gallon tank. I have it on the back end. It is sitting up 3/4 of an inch higher than the front end, so that way it'll help to drain. It has a separate little drain for the bottom right over here that when I want to, I can drain out the majority of the tank. I can't drain it all out, but I can drain out the majority of the tank. This is our main water line, the water coming in from the outside. This is if I ever decide to hook it up to city water. There's a connection in the outside, I'll show that to you soon, but I can actually connect it to city water. This is just an air vent, so that way the tank doesn't try to create a vacuum when I'm using it. Then this here is the grey water tank, and this is, I think, a 21 gallon. It's larger than the freshwater by about 25%, which is what they ask for by code. This is the water line coming in from the tank, and it goes into my pump. The pump is what sends everything up to, whether it's to the sinks or to the hot water heater or to the coffee machines. And then I have 2 check valves at the end of this pump line. As you see, I come up with an elbow and then I go into a check valve. This right here is a check valve that will not allow the city water, when the city water flows from here all the way across. It has 1 check valve, goes into the T and goes into another check valve. The reason I've got the two check valves is to make sure that the flow of water can only go one direction. If I'm using city water, I don't want it backing up through the pump into the freshwater tank. And at the same time, when I'm not using fresh water, city water, I want to make sure that when the water goes up, it doesn't come back through into the freshwater, into the city water inlet. Even though the city water inlet has its own check valve, a built-in check valve, I did this anyway just to make sure that it would be safe. So this is the entire install. Everything has its own shut-off valve. As you can see, that's one of the coffee makers. It has its own shut-off valve. And that is it. I've not yet tested for leaks. That will be the next thing that we're going to be testing for. But before we do that, let me go around. And this here is the freshwater inlet. So this is where I would fill it if I'm filling from a garden hose. I have a special hose that I bought that is designed to be able to use potable water, meaning water that can be drank from, so it can be used for sinks, for kitchens without a problem. It's not just for grey water. And then this would be my inlet for city water. Now I'm going to take underneath the trailer because we had to go ahead and install drain lines underneath the trailer, and I'm not sure where the one is. It's right there. Okay, so as you can see, I believe right there, I'm not sure if you can see it, that is the freshwater drain if I want to be able to drain it. And then this here is my grey water. When I want to be able to drain the grey water, I connect the hose up to the end there. All I got to do here is pop that, and it will allow all the water inside to be able to drain. And now it is in the closed position. And that is it. Now we're going to go ahead and try to fill up and make sure that there are no leaks. Wish me luck. I'm going to make a funnel. It'll be a very, very quick funnel. All I'm going to do is take a piece of 1-inch PVC pipe that I've left over. I'm taking a bottle that used to be for spring water, and I'm just going to go ahead and cut the top of the bottle, the bottom of the bottle off. I have to be careful because this plastic is pretty sharp once it gets cut off. This is a hack job, I really don't care. It's just to be able to use this for now, to be able to test. I will be buying a proper funnel afterwards. Please pass me some tape. Wrong piece, this is the piece that I need. And this fits in very snugly inside. As you can see, it's a perfect fit. In fact, I don't even think I need tape. Don't worry about the tape, we're good to go. There you go. Okay, and that does not fit inside. Let's try find another pipe. Okay, get me tape. Get me tape. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, we're going to use 1/2-inch PVC because that's what I have available. And in this case, again, I have a little bit of metal tape. You really could use duct tape is best, but I'm just going to use again what I have. So this is again just to be able to make sure I can get the tank filled up first time around. And some water leaks out, it's not the end of the world. I am just wrapping that around, putting the pipe inside, and then just taping it up. Will this work? Yes. Is it perfect? No. But we're good to go. while we're waiting for the second 5-gallon tank to be brought, we're going to go ahead and look myself inside. I want to check to make sure we have no leaking at all. Theoretically, if there were leaks, it would be leaking out of anywhere from here. Perfectly dry. Everything looks nice and good. There's no drips here. Nothing is leaking out of these areas. So far so good. I'm now going to plug the pump in and let's see what we get. And there you go, pump is working. Whoops, okay, I have one leak. And the reason I have a leak is my own stupidity. As you can see, I forgot to put one clamp. So that's one test I'm going to do right now. I'm going to fix that up and then we'll go on from there. Okay, as much of an embarrassing mistake as that was, because that was my own stupidity, it wasn't a leak because something went wrong, so that I forgot to actually put in the little crimp. But this gives me the opportunity to show you how to put the crimp in. Let's get to it. The thing that's going to be a little bit hard here is popping that joint loose. I'm hoping I'll have the space here, or at least the maneuverability to be able to get it loose. Yep, that was actually easier than I thought. Put the clamp on. Push this back on. And now we take this little tool right here as a crimper and we will crimp the piece right on. You're going to see a little blue light come on shortly. When that blue light comes on, it usually means that it is fully crimped. There you go. That means you see the blue light. We are done. I am now going to plug this back in again and see again if we have any leaks. I see a leak over there. I see one leak here at the bottom. And I'm not sure where it's leaking from, but I do see a leak. So we're about to we're about to have a look. It's not from there, it's not from there. We are leaking from this joint. That's a problem. I'd have to cut that whole joint out, which is not an easy joint to be able to cut out. Actually, no, that's not where we're leaking from either. We are leaking from this joint right here that has not been crimped. Hopefully that will therefore be an easy fix. Just spinning it around, and we have enough space there. Let's go ahead and crimp that. More embarrassing, but okay, it is what it is. Come on, and another one. There you go. Okay, so now of course what I'm going to be doing before I carry on is testing all of my crimps, or checking all of my crimps to make sure that everything is crimped correctly. And it appears from what I can see that basically everything is. Let's plug us in again and test again. There you go, we hear the pump going. And the pump has stopped running, and I'm not seeing any water leaking anywhere, not even under the hot water heater. Okay, so far so good. Now you can start turning on the faucets and see if everything is on or off. One thing always to do whenever you're turning on a faucet for the first time, remove the aerator, because sometimes you get little pieces of dirt that come in and they get stuck inside the aerator. Aerators will go back afterwards, but for now take the aerators off. This one didn't even have an aerator, and we're going to make sure everything is in the closed position. And I'm going to go ahead and turn on, there you go, Make sure there's no leaks there. I'm opening it all the way. And now I'm going to open the hot water. There you go. All the way. Okay. Now we can test here. And we have water. Okay, now while that water is running, making sure we've got no leaks in the drain area. There's no leaks coming in from underneath the sinks. Everything there seems to be fine. Turn the water off, and let's put the aerator back on. Do the same thing on the sink. And there goes the water. Again, checking to make sure we've got no leaks. And that side. Excellent. I have not tested the hot water heater yet. That will be at a later time. Right now, as long as I know that I've got water coming through, we're good to go. There you go. Okay, let's put that, not an aerator, but it's a connector if I want to be able to put in a hose to it. That hose bib right over there, that's for my espresso machine. The pipe coming up is in case I decide to reuse a different espresso machine, which I will eventually do as I get busier. This pipe here is for my drip coffee maker. Those I'm leaving closed because at this point in time if I open them up, water will just come pouring right out. And we do not have any leaks. So the next thing I'm going to do is turn on this one right here. And now theoretically this should have water shoot up. Yep. And it shoots up very nicely. Can you see that? Let's do it again. There you go. Okay. That is great. It appears that we do not have any more leaks, and the only two leaks that I did have were my own fault. One for not putting in the crimp, and the other for not closing off the crimp. But for right now, it looks like we are good. Let's clean up, and now we're going to go fill up the tank one more time. And my son was kind enough to bring the other 5-gallon bottle of water, and now we shall fill it up again. One thing I've not looked at is to make sure that we don't have any leaks from the drain line, but that will be the next thing we do. Okay. I should save this just in case I need it before I buy a new one, but this should be good. And now for the last test, I just want to make sure that we have no leaks in the drain. Certainly have no leaks at this point. And this seems to be working just perfectly. Okay, I believe that we are good to go. And we are go for good.